She has been my hairdresser for 2 years now. When I first came to her, I was struck by the slightly slow but precise movements of her hands. She didn't cut my hair, but stroked it and caressed my skin with gentle touches that were so pleasant that several times I almost fell asleep in her chair, completely relaxed and enjoying the process. But sometimes, during the haircut, I would get the opposite reaction. The thing is, I've always liked mature women. They attracted me not only externally, but internally as well. The idea that women over 40 are already quite experienced and always know what they want fascinated me. I had even had experience with a few women in a similar age group in the past. But then Evelyn came along. I went to her salon twice a month, trying to feel her touch more often. Lately, I found that I couldn't relax. Instead, I, like other clients, was overcome with anticipation. The key was to calm my body by the end of the session. At one point, Evelyn, the manager, offered me a deal: meet outside the salon. That way I would spend less on haircuts and Evelyn wouldn't have to pay a huge commission to her employer. Of course I said yes. This was my chance. What if it worked out? Whereas with other women I had never been afraid to take the initiative because I had nothing to lose, with Evelyn the situation was completely different. If I made a move and she didn't support me, I would have offended a wonderful person and could have lost contact with this magical woman and professional in her field. When I visited Evelyn's home, I met her daughter Claire. She was very much like her mother. Polite, neat, and tidy, but most of all, very beautiful. They were like two peas in a pod. Unlike my mother and me, she and I immediately found a common language, and soon our connection took on a romantic tinge. The wedding was inevitable, and just a few months after we met, we were already married. Evelyn was very pleased with her daughter's choice, for she had long known that I was a good and decent man. If only she knew what fantasies I had about her. If she ever found out what was going on in my head, she would definitely change her opinion of me. Naturally, she never discouraged me from coming to her. During the day, I often enjoyed the efforts of her hands, but at night Claire took possession of me. Even after the move, I visited Evelyn several times a month. My thoughts of her did not subside. On the contrary, with each visit, I imagined more and more scenarios. On one hand, there were more opportunities, but on the other hand, the moral side of the matter weighed on me. In case of failure, I would offend not only Evelyn, but also, first of all, her daughter. The situation was at an impasse. Every day my desire grew, but so did my guilt. I decided to leave things as they were, making the best of the situation, but not giving up hope that sooner or later my fantasies about Evelyn would become reality. That afternoon, I went to my mother-in-law's house alone to get another haircut. Claire stayed home, and I settled into a swivel chair in the middle of the hallway with my usual excuse. Evelyn buttoned the cape around my neck with a familiar motion. She looked detached and sad. Her movements were not as fluid as usual this day. She was clearly preoccupied. Of course, I couldn't help but ask what was wrong. Yes, Sam, another friend, is getting married. She's 50 and somehow she still manages to find a man, she said with a sigh. And me? I've been single for so many years, working in a salon, taking care of others, and apparently neglecting myself. I instantly realized this was my best chance after all these years. Well, Evelyn, what do you have to say? You're very attractive. Oh, Sam, come on. I understand that you want to comfort me. Thank you for that. But no. It's not just that, I interrupted. You've always been pleasant to me. I've always admired you. Now I mean it. She looked at me, hesitating. Think about it. I'm not rich, and I get my hair cut twice a month, whereas you yourself persuaded me to do it less often. She smiled, but sank back into thought. I saw that she was wearing rather tight athletic pants that fit her body tightly. I didn't want to push too hard, but I knew exactly what she was thinking. Yeah, I wanted to, she finally admitted. And when you invited me to get my hair cut at your house, I was thrilled not because of the price of the haircut, but because we'd be alone. But then we were interrupted by Claire's voice. Evelyn suddenly snapped back to reality, visibly upset that the moment had slipped away. Did that mean she would have been okay with it? But now we were restricted by the very Claire who had kept us from doing anything at first. But she wasn't here now. I tried to put confidence in my voice as I met Evelyn's gaze in the mirror. She widened her eyes and froze in indecision. No, Sam. What are you thinking? We shouldn't. No, it's not right. As much as I'd like to. You have Claire, and I'm your mother-in-law. But you're not my real relative. Yes, but still. No, don't even think about it. With those words, she abruptly pulled the cape off me. I was well aware that Evelyn stopped me, not because I hinted at anything inappropriate, but because she genuinely cared for me. At the same time, there were still insurmountable obstacles in her mind. I realized that I had to take control of the situation. I turned sharply and took a step toward her. "No, Sam, no," she managed to exclaim. But to my surprise, she didn't pull away. It was as if she embraced this new reality by responding to my kiss. I'd been waiting for this moment for years, and finally it had come. I didn't disappoint. "When can I come next time?" I asked with a smirk. "Come back tomorrow," she replied, smiling mischievously. "I'll have time to trim your whiskers."